Last time he gave this check to his mother-in-law Elaine by mistake, and it almost caused a catastrophe. He was very upset with the check. He was thinking about finding an opportunity to spend it, so he has done it today. Get ready, use this 100 million check to bid for this superb purple ginseng. Anyway, besides this 100 million check, there is money in the card. In his eyes, this check is just a piece of waste paper that he doesn't know how to deal with. It finally came in handy today. Hearing Charlie's call for 50 million, Fredman died of anger. He gritted his teeth and said to Barena Way, "This horrible waste deliberately wants to go against me. 50 million, it's weird he can get it." Barena Way also nodded and cursed. "This kid is really bad shish. Tea soup. This super quality purple ginseng is actually about 20 million, and 50 million to buy it is really a waste. It can be said to be a fool." Fredman gritted his teeth and said, "DMN, I'll call him around to see. I can't wait for this problem with my body." After speaking, he held up the sign and shouted in a cold voice, "I will pay 60 million. Did he think Charlie still dare to call 60 million? Unexpectedly, Charlie directly raised his placard, "I will give out 80 million. Fredman suddenly exploded and stood up and asked loudly, "What do you mean by that? What the HLL is he? It's 80 million, can you afford that much money?" Charlie said with a smile, "My dear grandson, don't worry, Grandpa can afford it." Many people at the scene knew that Fredman had knelt down before calling Charlie's father and Charlie's grandfather, so when they heard this, they suddenly laughed. Fredman couldn't hold on to his face, gritted his teeth, and said, "Okay. You have a seed. I will give out 90 million. Barena Way pulled his sleeves beside him and said, "Fredman, 90 million is too expensive. This thing is not worth so much. Don't be impulsive and fall for that B at Stard. 90 million to buy a ginseng? Except for thousands of years of super premium products, no ginseng is worth so much money." Although Fredman is rich, he is not a lavish person. Sleeping Wendy only spent 15 million and asked him to spend 90 million to buy ginseng, which is really a bit superior. However, what he was thinking at this time was that he had to heal himself. After so many days, he hasn't felt there, it's almost like nothing. If this continues, he will lose hope in life. So, he made up his mind in his heart and gave out 90 million, no more. At this moment, Charlie faintly held up the sign and said, "I will give 100 million. Fredman immediately shivered with anger, and cursed, "What do you want to do with this rubbish? It is probably a good thing that disturbs me?" Charlie smiled faintly and said, "I have taken a fancy to this purple ginseng. Of course, I have to bid for it." "What's the matter? What if you, Chairman Wilson, can't be snatched from you?" Fredman cursed, "Do you think I don't know your details? You are just a live-in son-in-law. You don't have 100 million in the entire Wilson family. How can you get so much money? Come?" After that, Fredman turned his head to look at the host, and said, "I suggest you drive this guy out. This guy is cheating. He can't have that much money at all." Tianchi frowned and said, "All the expenses of Mr. Charlie today can be counted under my name." Chin Gang also said quickly, "My Chin family's funds are also available for use by Mr. Wade at will." When the two of them said these words, the scene was shocked. What is Charlie's background? Tianchi, the genius doctor and Chin family patriarch Chin Gang, are willing to pay for him. This is 100 million. At this time, Charlie smiled faintly, and said, "It's just 100 million, I can still afford it. That's right, I have 100 million in my pocket. It's been a D*MN half a month, and it's almost annoying. I'm dead, just take this opportunity to spend it." Fredman said contemptuously, "What are you bragging about? Do you treat everyone as a 3-year-old kid? And you have 100 million in your pocket, do you know how much a billion is? A billion in cash weighs more than a ton. Can you put it in your pocket?" Charlie curled his lips and said with a smile, "You really are a stinky silk that has never seen the world." With that said, Charlie took out the 100 million check that Warnya gave him from his pocket. The check had been crumpled in his pocket for many days, and it looked like a pile of waste paper. Charlie raised the check and said to the host, "Beauty, let your financial staff come over and check it." Fredman sneered and said, "Stupid, just take a wad of waste paper and say it is 100 million? Then I will use several hundred million to wipe one butt." Charlie ignored him, holding the check indifferently. At this moment, the host brought the financial staff, and Charlie handed over the check. The other party checked it for a while and immediately said, "This check has a face value of 100 million, which is true." After speaking, everyone present suddenly exploded. A 100 million check, just as waste paper in his pocket? What the HLL should he do if he loses it? What if it accidentally slips out of pocket while squatting in the toilet? What if he accidentally put the clothes together and throw them into the washing machine and wash them into pulp? What a big heart. Big scary. Fredman's angry face was twitching faintly at this time. He didn't even understand why this waste could have so much money. Isn't he just a son-in-law? Charlie asked the hostess at this time. Since no one is robbing me, I can also get 100 million. This super quality purple ginseng should belong to me, right? The host hurriedly said, "Now I announce that this 300-year-old purple ginseng is back." Before he finished speaking, Fredman hurriedly said, "Don't worry. I have to increase the fare.